Today we are going to start our next chapter, that is theory of demand. Now question arises, what do you mean by demand? Demand does not only mean desire. There is difference between demand and desire. For example, desire means we want to have everything, but it's not possible to have everything in life because everything requires some price which we should have to pay for it. So we cannot say that demand only means desire. Demand means desire plus ability to pay. For example, if I am having a desire of buying a car, I should also have that ability to buy that car. I should have that amount of cash with me. So that is desire plus ability to pay and plus willingness to spend. I am willing to spend or not, that also contribute to demand. Plus specific time. Overall, we can say demand refers to quantity of a commodity. Demand refers to quantity of a commodity which a consumer is willing to buy at a given period of time. I hope clear. Next question arises, is demand a flow concept or a stock concept? Now, what is flow and what is stock? If we talk about stock, the stock concept is that concept which is measured at a particular point of time. For example, on 31st March, 31st December, that is called stock concept. And next is your flow. The question is, what do you mean by flow concept? Flow concept refers to that concept which is measured during a period of time. So we can say demand is which type of concept, stock or flow? Flow. Demand is which concept? Flow. Why? Because we do not measure demand only at a particular point. We measure it during a period of time. So one topic is demand a stock or flow concept? The answer will be demand is a flow concept. I hope clear. And next is the demand which we are studying is of capital goods or consumer goods. So basically we are dealing with consumer goods, final consumer goods. What is final consumer goods? Consumer goods are those goods which are ready to be used by the consumer. I hope clear. Next is the demand is affected by many factors. There are many factors which affect our demand, like price of commodity. Now question arises, how does the price of a commodity affect the demand? So when the price of a commodity rises, being a consumer, what will we do? We will increase the demand or decrease the demand? Decrease. Why will we decrease the demand? Because when the price of any commodity increases, it becomes expensive for us to buy. So for that reason, when the price increases, we will decrease the demand. And when price decreases, we will increase the. So the first factor which affect our demand, that is the decision we should buy or not, is the price of commodity, which we denote it as Px. X here refers to good. X refers to good and P refer to price. So the first thing which affect our demand is the price of a commodity. How does price affect demand? Directly or inversely? Inversely. How does it affect? Inversely. Because there is inverse relation between price and demand. The second factor which affect demand is price of related goods. Price of related goods are of two types. Anyone? Related goods are of two types. Very good. Substitute goods and complementary. You can see it here. There are two types of related goods. One is substitute and other is complementary. What are substitute goods? The substitute goods are those goods which are used in place of each other. Which are used in place of each other. We can say both are competitors of each other. For example, tea and coffee. Basically, we say tea or coffee. Either we will drink tea or we will drink coffee. So both are perfect substitute for each other. So in simple words, we can say substitute goods are those goods which are used in place of each other. Now question arises, how does substitute goods affect demand? So when the price of tea increases, for example, this is tea and there is coffee. Price and quantity. Here also you can say price and quantity. If price of tea is 10, demand of tea is 20 units, for example, and price of coffee is also 10 and demand is how much? 20. When the price of tea increases from 10 to 15, will it affect the demand for coffee? Yes or no? When the price of tea increases from 10 to 15, will it affect the demand for coffee? Yes or no? Yes. How? So when the price of tea increases, the demand for coffee will increase. Demand for coffee will increase. Whereas the price of coffee will remain same. I hope clear, because both are substitute. Either we will drink tea or we will go for coffee. Both are priced at rupees 10. Tea is priced at rupees 10, coffee also rupees 10. But when the price of tea increases, the consumer will shift their taste from tea to coffee. So we can say in case of substitute goods, there is direct relationship. There is between whom? Price of substitute goods and demand for other goods. For example, you can see here when the price of A here refers to tea. When the price of tea increases, the demand for B here refers to coffee. Demand for coffee increases. Clear? Next is the complementary goods, which are, you can say, both are partners of each other. The complementary goods are those goods which are used jointly, to satisfy human wants. For example, the best example is car and petrol. Nowadays, you can say car and recharge stations also, because where electric vehicles has been used. But we are taking example of car and petrol. Without petrol, there is no use of car, and if you have only petrol, there is no use of petrol without car or bike. I hope clear. For example, you can take another example of mobile and SIM. If you will buy only SIM, it has no use, and only mobile, it has no use. When both are used jointly, it satisfies the human wants. So in simple, you can say complementary goods are those goods which are used jointly to satisfy human wants. Now the question arises, how does complementary goods affect the demand? Here also we can say example of petrol. You can take petrol and example of car. For example, petrol is priced at rupees 10, demand is 20. Car, for example, it's priced at rupees 10 and demand is 20. It's an example. When the price of petrol increases, say for petrol rises to 20, will it affect the demand for car? Yes or no? Yes. How? The demand for car will decrease slightly. It will decrease. It will come to 15, whereas price remains same. You can say in case of complementary goods, there is inverse relation. There is inverse relation between price of complementary goods and demand for other goods. Clear? So we have read two things which affect our demand. First was price. Second was price of related goods. You can see here. First was price. Second is the price of related. Related are of two types, substitute and complementary. I hope clear. Any doubts? Next is your income. Income of consumer. How does the income of consumer affect the demand? So income of consumer also affect the demand in two ways. There are two types of goods. One is called normal goods and other is called inferior. What is normal goods? What is inferior goods? So simple we can say normal goods are those goods whose demand increases when our income increases. With the increase in income, we also increase their demand. It is called normal goods. You can see here like vegetables, fruits, these are normal. As our income increases, our demand also increases. For example, our income is monthly 50,000. We are demanding apple. Our income increases to 80,000. We will demand other apple of good quality. So the thing is that when our income increases, demand also increases. And when income decreases, we will decrease its demand. That is called normal goods. Clear? Second is inferior goods. The thing is, how does inferior goods affect the demand? The inferior goods are those goods which are of low quality. When our income decreases, then we will increase the demand of inferior goods. We can see here like this. For example, normal goods. I stands for income. In case of normal goods, when income increases, we will increase the demand for normal goods. when income decreases, we will decrease the demand for normal goods. In exams, questions comes, what is the relation between income and demand in case of normal goods? You can say positive. What is the relation? Positive. Positive income effect. We buy more as we get richer. Normal goods. I hope clear. And in case of inferior goods, these are those goods which are of low quality. So these have negative income effect. Negative, we will, when our income increases, we will decrease the demand. And when our income decreases, we will increase the demand. For example, everyone is using soap. When your income increases, we will use Dove, Pierce, or more branded soap. But when our income decreases, we will use that Gamma, which comes of 5 or 10 rupees and it lasts for a month. So that is your inferior goods. I hope clear. So in case exam questions come in normal goods and inferior goods. So what is the income effect in case of normal goods? Positive. It's positive. What is the income effect in case of inferior goods? It's negative. Next question, what is the price effect? ये तो income effect की बात हुई. What is the price effect? So in case of normal goods, when price increases, demand decreases, and when price decreases, demand increases. You can say in case of normal goods, price effect is negative. Price effect is negative. I hope clear. In case of normal goods, I am repeating it again. In case of normal goods, the income effect is positive, whereas price effect is negative. And in case of inferior goods, just opposite, income effect is negative and price effect is positive. When price increases, we will increase the demand for inferior goods. And when price decreases, we will decrease the demand for inferior goods. So price effect is positive. I hope clear. Yes or no? In case of inferior goods, income effect is negative and price effect is positive. Clear? Next factor which affect our demand is habit of consumer, you can say. Yeah, you can say the need for if a consumer is habitual for any goods. If a consumer is habitual, yeah, if any goods is in the favor of consumer, taste and preference. When taste and preference is in favor of consumer, demand will increase. And when taste and preference is not in the favor of consumer, demand will decrease. I hope clear. So we have discussed basically 4 things which affect our demand. First one was price. Second one was price of related goods. Third one was income of consumer. And fourth is your taste and preference. Taste and preference. Clear? Any doubts? Next we will talk about law of demand. If we talk about law of demand. So as you know, law of demand states when price of a commodity increases, its quantity demanded decreases, and when price of a commodity decreases, its quantity demanded increases, other things remaining constant. What do you mean by other things? So other things is also known as ceteris paribus. It's important for your exams. Other things is also known as ceteris paribus. Other things here means income. The income of consumer remain unchanged. There is no change in the income of consumer. We assume that law of demand will apply when other things remain constant. And what are the other things that will remain constant? The first is your income. Second is your taste. The taste of consumer is being unchanged. Third is your price of related goods is unchanged. Means there is no change in the price of substitute goods or the price of complementary goods. And last and most important, it applies only in case of, means law of demand does not hold good. Does not hold good matlab does not apply in case of inferior goods. The law of demand is applicable only in the case of normal goods. Clear? Any questions, any doubts? Next is your demand schedule and demand curve. For today, I hope this much is sufficient. Any doubts, any issues, anyone? Any questions? Okay. Thank you.